Well, good morning. November 24th, 2020. On our way to Bensalem, Pennsylvania. This is kind of a different type of handyman job today. We are tasked with the job of getting to the glass, the inside of the glass of the oven, so that the woman can clean it. So she wants us to take apart the oven door so that the glass can be cleaned, so that she can have a nice clean oven for Thanksgiving. I would think that you'd want to do this after Thanksgiving, but I guess maybe it's really bad and she's having company over and maybe she doesn't want them to see that like that. So we're going to go do that. Then we've got a job where we have to replace some fascia on a house and clean the gutters while we're up there. And then we got a job that I can't wait for you to see, which is putting a washer machine back in its location and then putting a bathroom vanity in front of it. She had to have her furnace worked on, and we went over there, removed the vanity to get out the washer machine to get the cover off the furnace so that it could be worked on by the furnace people. So wait till you see that one. Today's going to be a work log kind of day where it's just going to be a mass gaggle of different jobs, and I'll show you what I can from each one. And I don't do many work log series anymore. Spend a little bit, so hope you enjoy it. Right after this. So it's a Maytag Gemini, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's got two doors.
You want the other way?
Hmm?
Have it the other way. So the handle's facing up.
Handle facing up?
That's what she has. And then she just grabs the handle and pulls it up.
Okay, and then we got screws on the bottom here. That screw's not even all the way in.
And one in the middle.
Pull it up slow just in case anything. So we're learning as we go here. This is not something that either one of us done prior to today. You want to make sure the handle's facing up, probably with most stoves, definitely with this one. This way you can lift off the stainless steel portion of it, revealing the glass. Nothing's upside down and it won't fall apart on you. Now inside of here you'll notice that there are two metal clips holding the glass in place. Each one of these metal clips is held in by two screws. Now you don't have to tighten these down real tight when you put it back. They're not in real tight now, they're just snug. The tool I'm using here is the DeWalt gyro screwdriver. It works based on whichever way you twist your hand. So when I stick this onto the screw and I twist my wrist to the left, it loosens it. If I twist my wrist to the right, it tightens it. You take these four screws out and be very careful after you do so, because the bottom piece of glass can fall out. The top one is kind of locked in a little bit from being in there for so many years, and it's put into these metal brackets in such a way so that there's tabs on top of the glass and tabs on the bottom, so it's like sandwiched into an area. The bottom piece of glass just sits in an open area, so be very careful when you lift this out of here, and you'll see when we put it back together it's a little bit cumbersome. It's not terrible, but it's something that you want to pay careful attention to. Now these clips might be stuck in place because they've been on there for so long, and there might be grease or something, you know, helping adhere them to the glass. Just grab one of the corners and use your finger and pivot it out, and it will come out fairly easily. As you see there, that popped right off, and Kitana will pop hers off in the corner here as well. That separates the two pieces of glass. Okay, so here we are, and it's going back together again. The glass is all cleaned, and you missed everything. So what's the sense of watching a video, right? Well, I'm going to show you in detail on the second door that we do, the bottom oven door. It's, like I said, this is a learning curve. This is the first time that Kitana and I are doing this, and because of that, we're trying to figure out how everything lines up, where everything goes. We paid pretty close attention when we took it apart, but like anything, when you put it back together, nothing ever goes smooth with anything. So the biggest tip I can tell you, when you're putting these brackets back on, they don't really line up with the holes like they did when you took it apart. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but there's actually a little bit of tension on these brackets. So line up one side, doesn't matter which side, line up a side and start the screws in them. Put the two screws in, but only put the screws in halfway. Then go to the other side, and you're going to have to push on the bracket. Have somebody hold the other side of the door so it doesn't slide off the table, or you can maybe hold it yourself, but you got to push on the bracket, and it's got to bend, not bend, but like push in just a little bit so that it lines up with the holes. Then you can start the next two screws. Once all four are started, just snug them up. Don't reef them real tight, just snug them up. Now, when you put this cover back on, sometimes the gasket's going to fall off, and you're going to have to fix the gasket, which Kitana's doing right now. If you put the gasket back on, it just slides over the edge of the metal. Don't try to... You're going to see me suggest to Kitana to turn this over. See, right here I'm saying, hey, let's turn this over and put it down into the stainless steel portion. She's like, no, 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 no. I watched a video on my phone just now, and it says to do it this way. And honestly, this would be the easiest way. Put the stainless steel or whatever kind of finish you have on your stove down over the top of the glass. Now, one of the things that I'm having problems with over here is there's a little black nub. And I don't know if it's like some kind of a plastic push pin or something on the bottom of the door, and it's preventing it from sliding over it easily. So once you get the ends on, you're going to have to use two hands, and you're going to have to pull on one of those metal tabs at the bottom just enough so that the door slides over that nub. Now that nub is somewhere right about where my left hand is right now. So you'll see that we're fiddling around with this, but right here, I pull it out a little bit, get it over that nub, and boom, she slides right into place. Then you put the screws back in. Now we're going to show this in greater detail when we do the other door. We got a little bit more close-up shots and things like that so that you can actually see how it's done. I think 6 screws hold this stainless steel portion on. It might be 8 screws. There's 3 at the bottom, and 4 at the top and 3 at the bottom. So there's 7 screws that hold this whole thing on. Again, don't put it on with an impact or a drill driver and drive it right in and dent everything. It just has to be snug, just so that the finish, the stainless steel or whatever color finish you have, does not slide around. You slide this back over those hinges. These slide in to those grooves like that. And it just sits on there, and that's it. I'm take the next one out, open it that far, lift it right off. Alright, so it's going to work the same way. It's going to have screws all the way around. Notice this bottom one isn't all the way in already. Came loose. There is a gap here. It's supposed to be there.
Ventilation.
Probably how it gets dirty. Nothing on the side, but there is some on the top.
wait, we flip it
Do
over.
you want to turn it over?
Yeah.
I don't want to scratch your table.
No.
Lift it. Grab it, hold it together. There you go. If you look under this table, you'll see that this table used to be a Singer sewing machine. It has the floor pedal that was used to manually operate the antique sewing machine. So as you can see, there's 4 screws here at the top, and there is 3 at the bottom. So both doors have exactly 7 screws that you need to take off so that you can lift the panel off.
We're taking the brackets off over here.
Now, just like the smaller door, the larger door has the same amount of screws. So these brackets each have 2 sheet metal screws in them. They're about 3/8 of an inch long.
You want to take the brackets off? Or do you want
I wanted to put it over here. There it goes. And it slides off like that. And like that. And you can clean it. Nasty. Do we need a razor blade out of the bag?
No.
You got it?
I got it.
Chicken and rice. How do you say that in Spanish? Oh, I knew that. Chicken. Chicken. Gallina. Gallina? Sí. Well, I don't think so, but anyway, we're having it with rice. Rice.
All right, so this goes like this, and then there's 2 tracks. There's one in between these 2 here, and then one under this lip. So this goes on top. So you're going to sit that into that first track, so that these 2 little tabs, the 2 big tabs fit over it and the 2 little tabs fit under it. Like that. Tabs on top, little tabs under it. And you're going to do that to the other side as well.
Lay it down if you can. I can't see.
I just don't want those ends to come off of
So
it.
hold that end while
So to make this easy on yourself, you're better off turning this upside down now with the piece of glass that has the tinting around all 4 edges facing down. Take the other piece of glass, slide it into the groove it goes into. Now the big door has about a 1/2 inch between the 2 pieces of glass. The smaller door had about a 1/4 of an inch. Once you have them all in place, just sit it back into place. You'll notice that the glass, when you take the stainless steel framing off originally, you'll see there's writing on the glass in the shaded area telling you which part faces towards the bottom of the door. Make sure you face it the right way, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take those 4 screws, the sheet metal screws, they're going to go back into the holes, and again, you're going to have to put them in about halfway, and then when you go to the other side, push on that bracket just a little bit. Now this is tempered glass, so it doesn't break real easy, but you don't want to push on it so hard that you apply too much pressure to the edge of the glass. So like I said, put these in halfway, go to the other side, and then push. You'll notice that I'm using my thumb to kind of push it forward a little bit, just so I can see half the hole. So after that's in, you'll have to apply a little bit of pressure to this bracket to get it to line up with the hole. Just get it started. Where's the other screw? I'll show this side. Show this hole. So you push on it so that the holes line up. And get the screw in. It's very tight. Doesn't seem like it wants to go back together very easily, but it will. And these just need to be flush. They don't need to be screaming tight. Now I just want to do one more wash on that. Get the last minute fingerprints off.
Yeah. Did yours line up?
Now you gotta lift your end up a little bit.
Oh, hold on. Mine's on the rim, so there you go. That's on this side.
Let's get the screws back in. I'll put the screws on the bottom first. Yeah, she looks good.
I didn't even help you, I'm sorry.
No, that's alright.
You probably do a better job.
There you go. Here it is. Alright, so we had 3 jobs lined up for the day, but the second job is canceled, so now we're on our way to the third job, which is the job I wanted you to see anyway, and that is the fact that we have to put a washing machine in front of, put a washing machine in, and then install a vanity in front of it, and then slip the cover onto the very old furnace in this, I think it's a Levittown home. So it's just a weird situation, how everything fits together. Not something that I would be happy with for any long period of time. I'd want to change it, move my washing machine or something. But we're going to be going to that job next, and we're going to be there right now. Washing machine goes right in here, and the vanity in front of it. And those valves are no good, so we have to change those out. That's like an old valve right there, man. What a mess. Did you run the kitchen sink?
No.
Run the kitchen sink, make sure it's off.
Okay.
Kitana shut the water off where it comes into the house from the street, and I just sent her to the kitchen just to make sure that the faucet had no water pressure behind it. These valves were leaking by, and that's why this washing machine hose is tying the two together. Now, normally you wouldn't want to tie your cold water to your hot water, but the furnace wasn't working anyway, and they only had cold water for a couple days. So when I took everything apart, I put this between them. Now, this particular valve does have a washer in it that can be changed, but the client wanted new valves put on here, so I'm going to put 2 new valves on. I'm going to cut these off. They're a little bit more low profile, and they're shark bite. And I know a lot of people cringe, oh, shark bite, you know, wouldn't a professional solder a piece on there? Well, you know, shark bite is a very well manufactured plumbing connection. I have never had a call back from a shark bite. Now, would I take that shark bite and put it in behind the wall and put drywall over it? Probably not. Just because you don't know what it's going to do 20 years down the road, where solder tends to last forever as long as you don't have a lot of turbulence in your lines. So with that said, no, out in the open, someplace that you can easily get to it. Shark bite is a lot cheaper labor-wise to install than it would be to solder all the pipes together. So that's my thoughts on that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off of here, and I'm going to put the shark bite fittings on, and this way she has some new valves. And the new valves that I'm putting in are quarter turn ball valves. They're not gate valves. Gate valves are known to fail because they have that rubber washer in it. These here are gate valves, and any chance you have to convert a gate valve to a ball valve is a good day. Now that little plastic piece that I'm showing you right there, that's made for when you're putting the shark bite onto plastic plumbing. PVC, CPVC, PEX, anything like that. So you can use a needle nose, grab a hold of it. It doesn't come out too hard. Just pull the thing out of there and make sure there's nothing left inside. If you're using PEX or you're using PVC or CPVC or anything like that, leave it in there because it strengthens the wall of the plastic connection. Okay. Now I gotta try to get the washing machine in here. I gotta take this trap off so it's out of the way of the.
Oh, you got it?
Out of the way of the washing machine.
Oh, there's water in it.
Well, we put it in there so
I know.
there wouldn't be any odor.
Told you to remember.
Dump it.
Now I want to push this all the way in. Push it in all the way.
That goes into this drain here.
Oh. Hot in here.
Yeah, it's very warm. The heat certainly isn't broke anymore.
No.
Their heater's working just fine. They said it was making a noise or something when it ran. Don't go all the way tight till everything else is in. There you go. I'm gonna go get the impact
Okay.
and a couple screws.
Okay.
You got the adjustable already?
No.
No, this scissors don't work.
No, they don't.
Hi, this is Bob.
This one. She seems to be getting up a little bit.
Supply lines on. Drain's all hooked up already?
I have to tighten it, but yes.
Okay, good. We'll secure the cabinet first. Huh?
Did you turn the new valves on?
They're off.
Okay. Let me know when the water's on.
It's on. Valves good?
The new valves are good. Let me test the sink.
Nothing leaking behind it where the hoses connect, right? Can you lean me
Correct.
over and see?
Yeah, nothing's leaking.
Okay. And the sink's good?
The sink is good. You talking to the...
Alright, so we had a leak coming from the top of this. You want to take that out of there? Okay, pliers? How about the screw?
Well, that works, I guess.
Big bolt was in there. Gotta put some Teflon tape on that. Now this should go on there, right? Chop. So you see, this is one of those times where it's just not lining up right. The washer that slides on these PVC connections is too far down and I can't push it up, so I got to take it back off of there. These are the things I normally cut out of the video because I feel it wastes your time, but every once in a while I like to leave them in, at least some of them, because it just goes to show that even when a professional does something, it doesn't always go smoothly. you run into trouble. You get little aggravating things that happen. Things don't line up, or there's a washer in the way, or you couldn't get a screw out because the head was stripped, or you went to put your impact into the screw head and it took you a few minutes to actually get it lined up. You were, a little bit sloppy with trying to slide it in there. Those kind of things happen all the time. Nobody's perfect all the time, and most of the videos you watch on YouTube show you perfection, including my videos. I cut out a lot of the stuff, but I cut it out not because I don't want you to see that I have these annoyances, but more to save your time and not waste it, because I appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. But as you see, even the professionals have trouble. They run into things and they just don't show it to you on camera most of the time. Now, you'll see me using channel locks here, or you might call them water pumps, to tighten this down. Actually, this is Kitana doing it. You don't want to ever tighten these so tight that you crack it. It's only plastic. This drain is not under pressure. It's just gravity-fed water. So you just go hand tight and then maybe a quarter of a turn, and you should be good with most all of the PVC connections. Hold on to the trap so you don't twist anything. All right. Run a little water, see what happens. In here, not filling up with water. That's good. So it don't look like there's any leaks. Alright, so that's all done, not leaking. Secured to the wall. This isn't leaking. Both of these valves are on. Alright, so now we're going to make sure there's no leaks. No leaks back here. This is all dry back there. It says sense and fill, but it ain't filling. Nothing happening. There it goes. I guess it sensed it only need a little bit of water. No leaks back there. I just want to make sure that the drain isn't going to leak. I need to put a little bit of water in it. I don't know, can you tell this thing to just rinse?
This is an extra wrench.
Drain and spin right there. Let it get a little bit of water in it. Alright, let's cancel now. Hold for 3 seconds. And then she canceled. Now let's turn this to drain and spin. And it says it's filling again. No, lid locked. And we want to make sure that that's not leaking back in there. It still says it's filling. Now it's telling me it's disco lights or something. On the camera, look, the camera's blinking. Look, they're not really blinking though. Those are steady lights. That's crazy. Why does the camera make them blink? So apparently when there's an LED light involved with the GoPro camera, the GoPro can see the refresh rate and shows it on the film. That light is actually a steady light. It is not blinking in real life. Only the camera can see it. And when it can see it, it shows it to you. Crazy. Final spin. So in full disclosure, this drain was not held in other than with a zip tie when I originally got here 4 days ago to take this out. And the drain was leaking just now. And it probably was leaking then before I took it apart as well, because that hose only fits down into the receiving hose for about 3 inches. So I put a hose clamp on it, and I'm using the impact to tighten it down really tight. And this does take care of the leak. I'm pretty certain that probably a majority of the water went down the drain, but probably a cup or so with every wash did hit the tile floor. In the past, that is, not now. So this here is an Amana brand washer machine, A-M-A-N-A, Amana. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I got to tell you, I don't recommend these. This is the second one I've dealt with so far, and they're very slow to respond. They're very slow to fill. They're slow to move from one position to the next. So when it's washing and then it goes to a rinse, it seems like you can play a whole game of chess in between each selection. And you see it's backing up into the sink here. Now that's not because the washing machine sucks, that's because the drains are clogged. And I told the client about it, explained that it looks like there's grease from the kitchen sink coming up into the bathroom sink. She told me that it's been this way for about a month and they were going to get somebody to come out and fix it. I told her to save her money. I'm going to show you at the bottom of the screen here what I recommend. It works good. You have to pour enough in so it goes through your trap and down into the drain, but it really does get rid of the hair and the grease. It takes about 20 minutes or so. So this is it, and here's where you can get it. What do you think of that? So it's all back in. Cleaning the drains weren't part of it. I did take a bolt for a toilet out of there and hair ties. The mother-in-law said that it was her fault. So see, it goes down all right, but when it spits out a lot of water, somewhere the drain's clogged in there.